Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, being here, being you. Be the best you. There's only one of you here. Thank you for sharing your time with me and for being a part of my dream and my journey. Today I just wanted to talk about like a conspiracy theory. Allegedly, basically about Earth, I guess. So I had saw this thing on TikTok about the leviathan, and that basically, you know, the continents and everything is living on these animals. And like they said, Africa was like a skull, and America, South America, like we're living on a dragon or a snake or the leviathan. And then it goes all the way to like Japan and all this stuff. And I saw that, you know, the person that was talking about it, they was like, oh, it's a she, and then there's a he, and then there's babies. I was just like, bitch, what? Babies? So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So basically these dragons and stuff are real. And you know how like there's King Kong and Godzilla and even like the Meg are like these big ass fucking animals. Apparently back in the days Earth had more oxygen, so we were bigger, hence giants. Trees were bigger, hence mountains. Animals were bigger, hence dinosaurs. Like, yeah, it's kind of a lot to wrap your head around, because it's like I'm gonna get to, it's just a lot to wrap your head around to think about how big Earth could have been based on when you do your research and everything like that. So we're basically living on these dragons / snakes, and these things are moving because the Earth is heating up. And the way that they stopped these things from moving or something was like they freeze them basically. But now Earth is heating up, and you know, all the ice is melting, and basically they're moving now. And with them moving, that's where they said, like, you know, America's gonna be split in like half. California is gonna be gone. West Coast is kind of gonna be gone. Texas is gonna be split in half. You know, like all this shit is gonna happen, and basically our land is gonna change because these animals underneath us are moving and they're alive. And I was just like, damn. Like, so then I started thinking, I was like, so what the fuck, who the fuck am I? You know, like in terms of like, why are we even living on top of these things? Like, who invented this shit? Like, why, if these things are here, and Africa's this skull, and you know, these countries are like chickens, and America's a turtle and all this stuff, why are we here? Why is we on these things? I feel like we ain't got no business being here if these things is here. And I know that maybe like it's not something to fear or nothing like that, you know. For like a while we was all living in peace, and we was all living together, and we was all serving Earth, and we was all you know, we're all God, and I get that. But at the same time, it still is like that. But like, I feel like I'm invading something, like you know, y'all can find somewhere else to put us. So yeah, so then after learning that, I don't know if I believe it. I believe anything, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty gullible. Just because I feel like, you know, you like, there's just things out there that's real that like you know, like shit is fucking real. But you know, it's hard to think that like countries and stuff will be gone. Like, it is hard. That shit is kind of scary, you know. But then once again I started thinking like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? And then they was talking about how the 400 years, like the Empire of America is basically gone and done, and you know, we're coming up on that cycle, and that's why everything is happening. And then with this cycle, like a contract is up, and then there was these other theories about how like, what if Africa was like paid off to do this and do that, and to say we came from there, but in actuality we've actually just been all over the world on all of these continents, and people just came over here and took over, but we was already here. And I was like, I can see that, because black people, we are the original black and yellow people, well, brown and yellow people, I like, you know, the originals. So then I was just like, but then I was like, but what the fuck? So then I started thinking about how white people was made, because they said that there was this mad scientist who was darker than like his village, basically, you know. He had like 2 brains or some shit, and because he was treated and bullied because he was darker, that he made white people, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna make it like a race or something that's gonna like be the opposite of you, and it's gonna take you out. So then I started thinking, because there was like, in order for him to make that, he had to like go to another planet and make these things. And I was like, bro, what if we're the planet? The whole time I'm thinking the planet is another planet. What if this is the planet that the mad scientists came out and made white people? I mean, obviously, I thought he went to another planet, made them, and came back and dropped them here. But maybe he just came here, made them, and here they are. Because then I saw this little thing where like, our Earth, it is flat, and we are in a dome. But there's also other Earths and lands, and they even say like on the other side of the ice wall, there's like another Earth and another land, and you know, these other lands and stuff, they're higher intelligence, they're aliens and all this stuff, you know. And then that had me thinking about the portals, because you could get from like this Earth to another planet, to another Earth, to another existence, if you had like the power to, if you're up there on that frequency. And that's how they come here too. So then I was looking at that map, because it literally showed America flat with our Earth flat with all the continents, and then a dome, and then around it was just water, but then like other lands and shits too. Basically, we're on this fat ass fucking, who the fuck knows, right? So then I started thinking, and I said, oh shit, where's Sandy Cheeks? And I was like, oh fuck. Because if we're Sandy Cheeks and we're in this dome, we really are in the ghetto. Because there's all this other life out here, all this other intelligence, portals, dragons. This is the ghetto. For some reason, we don't reincarnate over here to the ghetto. For some reason, somebody made a contract, our souls, I don't fucking know, and now we over here in the ghetto. So then, that started having me thinking, like, if these animals and stuff are like, quote unquote, frozen or dead, we are low-key little bacterias running around. And that started having me thinking about how we reproduce, and there's 8 billion of us. And if you really think about humans, why would there need to be 8 billion of us, right? Because sometimes I'd be like, god damn, like, why is there so many humans? Like, I'm not gonna say some of y'all need to go, but you know, it's just like, wow, why did God have so many of us humans? And then on top of that, you have so many humans who don't even know who they really are, in terms of like. So then that had me thinking about bacteria. Because bacteria literally comes by the millions and the billions. And what does bacteria do? Reproduce. And what do? Make more people / bacteria. So then I started thinking, back to the white people. And I'm like, if we're in this dome, we're Sandy Cheeks, maybe for a while, maybe we weren't bacteria, you know, maybe we was giants, we was, you know, and maybe the mad scientist was a giant too. I don't know. And maybe he made his concoction or whatever, left them here, saw shit going how it was going, saw how they actually was acting, saw how these white people ain't have no souls, and maybe in his head he was like, damn, I look, he fucked up, and he just jetted in and left the rest of us here with him. And then, because, don't take this offensive, don't, but because white people was here, maybe that's why on this planet the frequency lowered, the oxygen lowered, and now we over here doing this shit. But what if this was the mad scientist's plan the whole time? What if he wanted that? Because I literally do believe that racism is in white people's DNA. I really do. I do. I think he wrote that in their code. I do. That's a hill I'm not getting off of. I do. So I started thinking, because, you know, like, even when you make Frankenstein and stuff, when they be having the movies and stuff, and you're talking to your Frankenstein, you'd be like, Frankenstein, this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna serve me, and da-da-da. And it's like, what if the mad scientist did that with white people? It was like, you're gonna serve me, you're gonna be racist as fuck. Back then, maybe it was called racist. Maybe he was just like, you're gonna hate black, dark people. You're gonna think they're the devil because they're mean and was rude as fuck to me. We're gonna sign, maybe he made like some deal with the cosmos or something, like, you're gonna take over their world, and you're gonna like take their babies, and you're gonna take their happiness, and we're gonna invent this thing called money and capitalism. I don't know. Okay. And that's where I was just like, wow. And I can see that being a contract that the mad scientist maybe made with his creation. And he was just like, you know, at the time he's like 400 years, because right now I can make a contract for 400 years. I don't know if I'm not gonna be here 400 years, but you know, I can make a contract and just like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever, I'll sign it. The same way how like these celebrities be signing contracts and shit with they soul. Maybe the mad scientists did the same thing, but with like on a higher level. Yeah, I was mind blown, and I went to shit out. And then I was like, for real, what if they just dumped us all here? What if we really are experiments? And now that the 400 years is up, now we're all some of us are remembering who we are, and now it's like, okay, like, your time was up to do your experiment, you know, to do your little white people, to do your little racism, to do your little put these people down, okay. But now only the like highest intelligence survivors, some shit, you know, because I read something too that was like on the other side of the ice wall, and allegedly, and on these other like domes or planets or whatever, you know, other than us, it was like maybe they too also signed a contract or something, or went apart with the experiment and sent like a bunch of us over here as part of the experiment. And now that the time is up, they're coming back for us. The aliens are coming back for us to help us, to get us out of it. Whole time we're the aliens, and we're just remembering who we are. And maybe that is from them. Like, maybe they're sending us little things to the vibrations and all that stuff, and we're just connecting like in the 5D, you know. I was just like, wow. Like, I love conspiracy theories, because I feel like conspiracy theories, you could go anywhere with it, and it could still make sense. Because like, to me, it makes sense. Like, think about it. Like, really think about history. Think about where we are now. And then even the dragons and stuff, like, as much as that could be like, there's no way there's these big ass dragons and snakes that we're on top of. But at the same time, it's like, but they do show it in the movies. Somebody had to come up with that shit. There was allegedly dinosaurs. somebody lying. And why would I believe that this is all to our life and our existence and shit? Bitch, get the fuck up out of here. Get the fuck up out of here. Once again, how the fuck does a sperm and an egg that is microscopic, that you cannot see, make this? Eyes, ears, mouth, nose, a fat head. And then your whole body is equipped with the hormones, and your heart already beating, and you know, your legs and your bones. Listen, anything really is possible. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think that's all I had to say. My head is kind of not hurting, but oh, that was a lot of information, because I was just thinking about that, and I was like, oh shit, like, oh shit, like, all we could do right now is sit back and watch, because oh shit, bitch, like, you know. But it would be nice to see what else is out there, you know, because I feel like even though this world to us is big, and there is 8 billion of us, and you know, there is a lot of homes, there is a lot of nature, there is a lot of land, like, to really think about a whole bigger, I don't know if to call it a earth, I don't know to say if it's just the universe, I don't know what the fuck to call it, but to think that there really is a bigger multi-grand scheme of things with other life forms and other civilizations, stuff like that, to me is pretty cool. And they show it that in the movies too. They even show, Black Panther show like the Marine Kingdom and people down there. We know about mermaids and stuff, like, so it would be cool to see. I think you know, of course it would be scary because we don't know, we ignorant, but it would still be kind of cool. Like, so yeah, that's all I had to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please continue being safe and being smart and going to school and being safe at school and outside and being responsible. Remember, you are smart and creative, and yeah, you can do anything, man. This life is what you make it. And you know, that's all conspiracy theories teach me too, is like, bruh, just live your life, have the most fun you can, and do your best. Like, there's all this other shit that's out here, like, we is not bigger than the motherfucking program, bitch. We not, you know, like, have the utmost confidence in yourself to say you are the biggest, but like, at the same time, bitch, we only getting started. We the first step. So yeah, love you guys, bye.